Gamelan music is end-weighted. This means that the accents in the music come at the ends of phrases. These are marked by the gongs. The large gong always plays the final note at the end of the phrase. I shall now play a short phrase of Gamelan music using the gongs to mark the ends of phrases. The word gamelan comes from the word in Indonesian to hammer, because the gamelan is an instrument that is played with this hammer here. We play the notes on the scale in a pentatonic, which means 5-note scale. Note number 1 is reproduced at the top end of the scale, an octave higher. And note number 6 is reproduced at the bottom of the scale, an octave lower. The notes are numbered 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. So there's 5 notes, but no number 4. I'll play the scale again so you can see as I play the numbers on the notes. And the octave number 1, and the octave lower number 6. You can see that the octave notes are represented with a 1 with an arrow pointing high to indicate it's an octave higher, and the 6 with an arrow pointing down to indicate it's an octave lower. This is the main instrument of the gamelan, called the saron. There is also the next instrument called the peking, which sounds an octave higher than the saron. So number 1 on a saron and number 1 on a peking sounds an octave higher, but they are the same scale. The third of our tuned instruments on our gamelan is called a demung, and this sounds an octave lower than the saron, again in the same scale. And again we have the notes 1 produced an octave higher, with an arrow pointing up, and 6 an octave lower with the arrow pointing down. In Indonesia, the technique to strike the gamelan with the mallet is often described as with the flick of a dragon's tongue. To explain how gamelan music works, I'm going to play a simple tune on the saron, a tune known as Langkaran Bintang. Gamelan music is cyclic. This means it repeats round and round. So the saron will continue to play that tune round and round, while the peking plays a decorative part known as the flowers. In a simple form, this is usually done by doubling up each note, so it will sound like this. instruments, plays a skeletal part. And in this instance, we're going to play every other note from the main tune. When you become confident at playing your metallophones, you can start to damp the notes with your spare hand. So, playing notes 1 and 2 round and round, you'll play number 1 and damp it with your thumb and forefinger as you play the next note, number 2. A useful exercise to practice this is just to go round and round, playing 1 and 2, damping note number 1 when you play note number 2. Gamelan music is also end-weighted. This means that the accents in the music come at the ends of phrases rather than at the beginning of phrases, as is most popular with Western music. This is emphasised by the gongs, which will play notes of phrases at the end of the